Hi guys, welcome to a new video. This time I'll finally tell you about the Shadowlands druid changes and what I think about them. I'll focus on Feral Druid because that's what I play, but you can ask any kind of questions to all the druid specs in the comments if you like. A lot of you have asked me to do a video like this, and here it finally is. So let's go over the general druid changes first. One thing they did is making a lot of spells available for every specialization instead of one spec only. For example, all druids get Ferocious Bite, all druids get Bark Skin, all druids get Cyclone, Stampeding Roar and Ironfell. Also, the Heart of the Wild talent is coming back, so they want us to feel more like a hybrid. If you pick that talent and, for example, want to heal an ally as a Feral Druid, you pick that talent and then your heals on that ally will be improved. Also, they changed the affinities a little bit. Instead of just getting, like for example, a range with Boomy or DR with the Guardian affinity and some spells associated with the spec, you also get a C option. So for Balanced affinity that's Typhoon, for Guardian that's In-Cap Roar, for Feral that's Maim, and for Restoration that's also Vortex. So you of course also get the CC option that is tied to your own spec, because you can only choose the affinity to the other specs of course. So all Ferals will have Maim and then can get either Typhoon, In-Cap Roar or Vortex, depending on what affinity they pick. That opens up a lot of powerful combinations for especially Boomy and Resto, because they can combine all sorts Vortex with Typhoon. Something that in BFA only Resto and Guardian can do. So you can put down a Vortex on all enemies, Typhoon them away, and then they get all mask ripped into the middle. That's really strong. Ferals and Guardians won't be able to do that in in Shadowlands though. What we can get is In-Cap Roar, which is pretty great for M+ especially, but by picking In-Cap Roar we have to go Guardian affinity, and then we lose out on the range from Balance affinity, for example. So let's see what the meta will be. But now let's get to the Feral changes in general. The only change they made so far is changing blood talents. I know a lot of you guys hated that playstyle where you had to use your finisher, get an instant cast buff, use that cast for regrowth or entangling roots, and by that empower your next two spells. It required some pre-planning, and if you messed up your Blood Talents gameplay, you lost a lot of damage for a long time window before you could fix it. Now what they did is that you automatically get the Blood Talents buff after using Shred, Rake and Ferocious Bite quickly after another. You have a 3-second window to use all three of these spells, but when you do, your next rip will get a huge damage increase. So one thing to notice, it's not your two next spells that get empowered, but instead it's only your rip. So your Rake is unaffected by Blood Talents and all the other spells are as well. So there's no point in picking Blood Talents if you are going for an AoE setup, because your single target rip is the only thing that gets empowered there. That makes the druid playstyle easier than it is at the moment, because if you mess up your rotation, it isn't too bad. You always get the chance to do it on your next rip, and just putting Shred, Rake and Ferocious Bite together isn't too hard. It's easy to accomplish. But also, that makes our spec feel a lot more boring in my opinion, because you don't have this pre-planning anymore. You don't have to think about what you do. You're always just building to 5 combo points, and then if your rip is about to fall off, you use Shred, Rake and Ferocious Bite as your last few spells, and then again build up to maximum combo points and then use your empowered rip. But if you're, for example, using the Sabertooth talent, as we are at the moment in single target, all you have to do on your opener is to use these 3 spells, Shred, Rake and Ferocious Bite, then buff your rip, and then it's going back to biting all the time. But you're not even applying Blood Talents to your bites as we are doing now, because it only affects rip. So all you're doing is shredding to 5 combo points, and then Ferocious Bite all over again, all the time. Only these 2 spells, and from time to time you're applying a Rake in between, just because that falls off from time to time and you have to reapply it. It doesn't get affected by Blood Talents, so all you have to do is just press it when it's about to fall off. So Feral single target feels really, really boring with this new Blood Talents talent. Yeah, so much about that. To be honest, to get to an overall opinion here, the single target playstyle feels awful. I haven't played it myself in the alpha yet because I didn't get an invite, but I've seen people play it, I've seen people report about it, and just looking at the talents, it looks really, really bad. Also, we get nerfed because the utility, which wasn't a lot in Mythic Plus, for example, that we bring, or also in Raid, was Stampeding Roar, a spell that was only available for Guardian Druids and Feral Druids, and the only thing that was similar to it was the Windrush Totem for Shamans. Now, this utility gets brought to all Druid specs, so a Restoration Druid can Stampeding Roar and speed up the group, or a Boomy. So we are just straight up a worse version of a Boomkin, because we're melee, our utility kit is really small, because, for example, we don't get Innervate. The other Druid specs get our utility, they take Stampeding Roar from us, but we don't get their utility, we don't get an Innervate, for example. And that's just bad. I don't know what Blizzard thought there, it doesn't feel right. At least give us Innervate so we can be useful in something. To be fair, the AoE playstyle where you picked Predator for constant Tiger Fury resets and picked Moment of Clarity for empowered swipes, that feels fine. It feels as great as it feels at the moment, even though we are losing the essences and corruptions and stuff like that. It's still fine, but the single target playstyle is really, really bad. I'm really disappointed at what Blizzard did here, and I hope they're changing this in the future. Anyways, thank you for listening. I'll update you as soon as I know anything else about the Druid, and until then, yeah, let's just pray that they're doing something with it, because at the moment it doesn't look like I will have much fun playing my Feral in Shadowlands. Thank you for listening, and bye bye.